My name's Chris Jones and I'm Head of Business Operations at the Carphone warehouse. We have a very strong desire to build on the work that we did with our retail stores last year and actually roll out process engineering across the rest of the business. One of the reasons to do that is we know the customer journey starts with our stores, but it doesn't always end with our stores. So what we want to do is ensure that when we consider customer impact, it's throughout the entire organisation. We have a very important job to do this year of bringing all of our brands together under one engine. We wanted to ensure that all 4 brands are supported in the same way from a process point of view. We're in a position now where we have our processes documented for our retail colleagues. Phase 2 of that approach is for us to understand the things we need to change and how they can positively impact the customer experience. An example of which is we're currently mapping our entire contact centre process flow. We have around 2,500 processes across our contact centres across all 4 brands. The main steer and the main prioritisation of those things come from our Voice of the Customer Committee and also from the intelligence we get from our NPS scores. We have an absolute intention to use the resource and the skill that we have in the business when we're talking and thinking about process. So lots of businesses can recruit consultants and bring people in who know about process but don't know about the business. We wanted to use the internal resource that we have. We have some really great people in this business who thoroughly understand how the business works. In the Centre of Excellence, we currently have around between 26 and 30 people, depending on the amount of work that's going through at the time. We call these people process engineers. They're fully empowered and they are responsible for the business units that they represent. When I see them out and about in the contact centre or in our support functions, it gives me an immense amount of pride because these people are really, truly focused on just delivering the best service. And I can't think of a better tool than how to capture that and ensure that when we are speaking to people or educating people as to what we represent as a business, how to really is a key part of how we communicate that message.
But for example, we've got these here.
The primary success criteria for how-to is mass adoption, ensuring as many people as possible are understanding how process can influence what they do on a day-to-day basis. Based on the success of our retail stores, we've seen a real uplift in people's attitude towards process and doing things in a very joined-up manner. We have 2 measures we use in the organisation. One is a colleague measure and one is an external measure of customers. Our internal measure is something we call Pulse. That allows us to understand what we can do better to support our people. One of the core metrics that we found within that last year was how-to was a big facilitator and enabled lots of positive change, especially in our retail channels. From a customer point of view, we measure our customer satisfaction through a measure called NPS, which is Net Promoter Score. We do have quite high NPS scores and they've grown considerably over the last 6 to 12 months. One of the reasons why is more process rigour. One of our main strategic objectives for the year is something called go-to-market. Go-to-market is essentially going back to basics with our commercial vendors, partners and suppliers to understand what the value chain looks like from a company point of view. We operate in a vast number of countries across Europe. However, we don't operate in the same way. Our go-to-market programme is standardising our approach across Europe. So when we procure, we want to do it in a productive way that involves all of our European countries rather than just having separate conversations in each territory. One of the key challenges is actually having those processes documented, which is where the How-To Centre of Excellence actually adds value. It is an enhancing part of the programme that we really are focused on. The main reason we're so intent on delivering our go-to-market plan is speed to market, which is why it's very important that we use process as one of the primary tools to drive that. One thing that we find very, very exciting is as we get to understand what process looks like across the broader span of the business, we can map absolute NPS scores against processes. If we know we've delivered a negative experience to a customer, we can absolutely attach that to a process that is in existence in the business and then focus on fixing that process as soon as possible. One of the things that How2 does allow us to do is operate in a standard way each time, in a collaborative way. That does include all elements of the business because everybody understands what they need to do. It allows us to deliver great service to our customers, so we know that we give our customers the same response, the same solution every time, and it allows us to remove cost and duplication.
We are totally focused on improving customer satisfaction levels, what we call our Net Promoter Score, across the business, in fact across all channels. And we're hugely excited about How2 because we believe that we will be able to consistently deliver the same service and quality level of service to our customers regardless of the touch point that they come into the organisation. We will be able to know with 100% confidence that whatever process our frontline staff are checking, that it is current, accurate and up to date, and that we will give the customer the best service possible. The operational excellence team have got a huge passion and commitment. I have never seen such enthusiasm. These people are evangelists for How2. I can't tell you the excitement that there is in the team, and they are just 100% committed to delivering a quality service. Through the Voice of the Customer programme, we are investing heavily in speech analytics, which will give us huge amounts of data around what our customers are telling us about our policies and our processes. We will be then able to overlay that data on the processes that exist within How2 and identify those which need to be improved. That, in turn, will drive up the customer satisfaction scores.
We've recently set up a new contact centre for our Best Buy brand. This is a team of 20 people who basically started from the get-go. There was very little there in terms of process, but throughout the entire programme of setting up this team and setting up a new contact centre, How2 was right at the beginning of that.
Good afternoon, through the Best Buy Control Tower. You're speaking to Andy. How can I help you today?
When I take a call, obviously I'll try and establish what it is the customer wants. If I don't know what specific process I need to follow, then it's straight onto that screen to follow how to. It's dead easy to use, and it's got every process. So you can have the most abstract question asked of you, and almost instantly you've got the process you need to follow on your fingertips. And the best part about having two screens is I can actually call up the document map of the process on that screen, so I can see step by step what to do and then use that screen to actually do it. So I don't need to keep constantly flicking between how to and what I'm doing. I can just keep referring back to how to while it's there. And it basically just means that I can speed up the call resolution, so it makes me seem a little bit more knowledgeable to the customers, which is obviously good because that way, it affects our brand.
Okay, that's fantastic. And what is it you're having delivered?
When I started, How2 was absolutely priceless, every single call. Back when I was starting, and obviously when any new starters come in, I can imagine them being really desperate to use How2 because every call you get, you're thinking, what do I do here? I'm constantly learning new stuff and constantly keeping myself up to date on the procedures. It's fantastic, and it just means that we portray a much more knowledgeable front to the customers, and we've got the support behind us, got the correct procedures, for our teammates and for any new starters.
Right, I'll do some looking into that for you, and I'll get that changed for Monday.
It makes everyone sing from the same song sheet. If I need to know a process, I know that it's exactly the same process as what James or Phil are going to be doing. And it means that if they say, can you fix this, I can then follow it from halfway down the document map and do it exactly as it was intended. So it adds continuity, and it means that the customers will get the same experience no matter which advisor they talk to, because all the processes are the same and there's no deviation from them. The rollout of Best Buy without this would have been a lot more difficult, because when we rolled out, we always straight away had the processes at our fingertips, and that was from the word go. So it was absolutely invaluable.
We know we can bring other initiatives and changes and developments into the business. We know we're capable and we're agile from a process point of view because we have a common method in the How2 platform. One of the things that we're famous for is allowing people to do things on the move. We really wanted to make sure that our experience to our people who are accessing process was the same regardless of where they were accessing it. Two applications have become particularly useful in that journey. One of them is the offline player. So we're currently in the process of rolling out offline player to all of our contact centres. That's of particular importance to one of our players in South Africa, where we have an outsourced shared service function. Bandwidth is a big issue over there, and that just allowed us to deliver an immediate solution to them. Another great enabler has been our iPhone and iPad player to give people access to process while they're on the move, especially people like floor walkers and people who walk around our call centre speaking to agents. It's great for them to have process in their pocket. It's been a real godsend because it is something that people can access on the move and really get to grips with what they should be doing. The primary success criteria for How2 is mass adoption.
We will be delivering 100% consistently across all our channels.
Mapping our entire contact centre.
It makes everyone sing from the same song sheet.
The How2 platform has thoroughly been baked into our routines and rituals.
To drive up our customer satisfaction levels, to be world class, what we need is that standard operating platform.
We've seen a real uplift in people's attitude towards process.
It's fantastic, and it just means that we portray a much more knowledgeable front to the customers.
It's part of our DNA and how we now run the business.
I can speed up the call resolution.